Okay, everybody, so we're going to go ahead and start messing with getting this last spindle off. I'm sorry I didn't show you guys the process of getting the rest of them off here. Got a bunch of WD-40 in there. It's been soaking for a while. I'm just going to kind of tip this up and dump it out and make sure I got all the bolts removed off the bottom, because I had to cut that one, yeah. Right there. See, take an angle around here to that.
You gotta take the pin and all that stuff out?
No. We just gotta take the top of this thing off. We gotta just basically lift up the front of the deck, put a bolt nut on there so we don't mess up the threads too much at first, at least, and then just beat that through a little bit. I got a cinder block right here. I'm gonna try to lift this deck up on. I gotta move all my other stuff here. It's gonna be a pain in the butt, I think, to do this one, but I let it soak for probably 48 hours, that WD-40 in there. So we're gonna see what happens.
Or you get something to block the wheels with?
I think it should stay there pretty well, honestly. So yeah, I gotta get a nut to put on here, make sure you guys can see me all right. Hopefully the threads are already pretty messed up on this one, so it's probably gonna take a while. If not, we'll just beat this one right through. I'll eventually come across ones on eBay, because I'm thinking of reusing the same spindles but putting new bearings in them. Or, you know, probably just wind up finding some other spindles that'll work. Maybe some MTE or John Deere spindle, something weird like that, you guys know. But yeah, what we're doing, guys, and what I did on the other ones is get a crowbar underneath, put some pressure on it, and just hit the top of the spindle bolt, whatever there. And basically get it loose, and then just try to drive it through where it's flush with that, and then take a bolt and a pair of pliers and just tap it through the rest of the way. You guys will see here. It's a long, tedious process, which is one of the reasons why I didn't really film much of it. But we're going to show you this last and most difficult. It absolutely takes a massive sledgehammer for this too. Kind of hard to get in there. I don't want to break the. It's already kind of broken up there, but I don't want to break it any worse than it already is. Yeah, put some pressure on it. Yeah. See, it's kind of impossible with this one. This one's just a pain in the butt. So much easier than this one. You really can't drive it in there any further. I'd love to have a nut on this so I don't screw up the thread or possibly, but really can't because it's just not enough room. So you got it?
Yeah.
Okay, let's see there. Is it a little looser? Try to wedge it a little bit. Okay, it's maybe getting a little loose. Wish I could find a nut that works. It's got a little bit of a hole at the top there. Maybe we can come up with something else. I don't know. I'll hit it one more time here. Put some pressure on it. Okay, let's pause this briefly. Up with an idea to instead of putting the crowbar underneath it, put it in there. We might honestly have more strength and less risk of breaking the pulley that way. So yeah, let's go ahead and hit this again here. Gotta hit it good and square. Screwing this up, I'm gonna make it hard to go through. I mean, I think it's moved a little bit. Try to wedge it a bit.
It definitely moves more.
Yeah.
than it did.
Okay. I'd love to I mean, maybe we have to screw up one of these nuts. We could probably find another one, even if we have to go to a hardware store. Okay,
we got that fastener place.
Yeah, we do have the fastener place.
We just go and get one of those.
Yeah, I got others too. Yeah. Okay, now we got like a little bit of a. Could honestly do this. Might work pretty good. So yeah.
You want me to hold it or?
Keep pressure on that for now. Okay, crowbar. Too much movement yet. you want to do that. Okay, it's moving a little bit more, so maybe we've moved it a bit. Keep your hands back. What do you think? Yeah, so what we're talking about, guys, is like this right here. This is on the bottom of the deck. You guys can't really see too well, but yeah, get your light over here. And by the way, the bearings in this one spindle were still half decent and turning. That one's completely seized, but yeah, there's this pin in there. If we could try to drive that pin out and maybe pull this off the bottom, in theory, we should be able to like lift the pulley and the internal shaft of the spindle up out of there.
We can even hit it
somehow
because there's no threads we can screw up.
Yeah, but whew, that would be nice.
I mean, it's a good.
I mean, it almost looks like it's welded on here. You know, what if it's
that might
welded
just be
on there?
gunk buildup though.
It feels like weld. It's like solid metal.
It's years of.
I really don't know.
It's a plan B.
Yeah.
Oh, it might be welded. Look at that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that might be.
So I'm thinking it's weld. And the other one looks even more so, you know, so. Where's my thing at? That I was... Oh, you got it. Yep. All right. It's maybe inching. If you look, see these bolts? Yeah. Are they lifting up with the pulley on your side?
No.
On this side, these two are. They're fused to the pulley. Dang. Yeah. Is it?
Maybe I can try wedging it on this side.
Maybe. Yeah, watch those things. I'm kind of blocking the camera. I'll hammer it from this side too. So obviously that's taken quite a while to get that spindle apart, as you guys are watching in this video. And we recorded a lot more, but if you guys are watching the live stream, you'll know this. We were actually able to unseize that spindle. I didn't record it on a regular video because we were live streaming what else we were doing in the deck later that night because we couldn't get it off on the video earlier. But eventually we got it unseized. It was spinning decently, didn't sound great, but we decided, okay, we're just gonna run it like this at first and then see if like maybe that loosened some things up. So that's what we did. We had the other spindles rebuilt. We just couldn't get to that middle one quite yet. I'll show you a little bit more about what we did with it here, and then we'll show you some footage of us actually getting this thing to cut grass again. So yeah, expect that here in a bit in this video, and expect another video shortly after this that shows how we actually did manage to get that spindle apart and what we did to it to get it to sound a heck of a lot better. So I went ahead and ordered some new bearings for these spindles, put them in, and how I put them in was I used, instead of like a proper bearing punch, I had just used this pipe right here that happened to fit right over the tops of the, here's another new bearing, got some extras, because I used the originals in two of the spindles that were okay for now. Yeah, they fits kind of over the bearings just right. So I use that as a bearing punch and just try to keep it centered. And just kind of readjust it after each pound with the hammer. Drove in some new bearings in this one here. And I'm getting ready to put this flywheel back on. I noticed that hole looks insanely out of center. Look at that, guys. Wow. I'm hoping it just looks that way because maybe this is a little messed up right here. I don't know. Maybe that's why the original owner said his parents didn't like how I was mowing, and that's why I was put in a barn for 30 years. Maybe this is really screwed up. The other one, we'll check the other one here in a bit, but I'm going to try to get this back on and spin it here and see what happens off camera. So here I got it back on, and this is definitely not a professional way to do this or anything, but kind of get it like, I hold it, like I did this better earlier, but what I did was hold it kind of flat, like hold this right here on a flat surface that wasn't going to move. That's going to move. And just kind of look at, like, get a little bit of space, get it angled just right so there's a little bit of space in between the spindle and one of those holes, and spin it and look for a difference in size, because obviously, like, look, I can't really hold on to, I mean, this doesn't give me anything, so I got to, like, balance it on something and then get a little bit of space in between one of those bolt holes and the spindle itself, and just kind of spin it and look for a difference in size. And hang on, let me get this balanced on something. And I'm not seeing any changes. This level right on the table for sure. Yeah, I'm not seeing any changes, so I think it just looks off center, but it's not really, so that's a good thing. So yeah, we're gonna go put these, get some new bolts for these. Actually, I made a huge mistake. The bolts need to go in first, because the freaking flywheel overlaps where the bolts are supposed to go. Unless I find some short bolts that maybe fit through the bottom of the deck. Okay, maybe we try that then. Just get some short bolts in there with a lock washer. All right. Well, let's try to do that. It'd be more, well, no, actually, you got to put the, because I just made a huge mistake, guys. Well, actually, I guess it wasn't a huge mistake, because I wanted to put this on to see if it was, like, centered. So, okay, I guess I did kind of have a reason for that, but I got to put the spindle on the deck first and then the pulley, because that's how it's set up. Okay, got that spindle back off. I mean, the pulley back off the spindle. Yeah, now I just gotta, I guess, go over to the deck, find some bolts for it first, then go over to the deck and put this thing back on. Once again, sorry for this documentary kind of being, you know, not so, like, capturing every little thing. It's just that I don't get paid by YouTube yet, and yeah, it's I don't get paid by YouTube yet, and this is a very long-term project, so sometimes it's just a pain in the butt to film everything, so I do apologize for that. I got the most random assortment of nuts, bolts, and some lock washers that you could possibly find, and hopefully these will work, because I don't want to use the originals because they're all rusted up and the threads are messed up. But yeah, not too sure about oh crap, there goes something. Yeah, not too sure about what exactly I'm going to use here. Probably kind of a mixture for now, and then when we take this thing apart, completely apart again to do the final restoration, then we'll just go buy some new bolts, keep everything uniform, and, you know, then show you guys more in depth of how everything comes apart and whatnot, because, you know, this is really just a big experiment we're doing here right now. So I'm going to get this over to the deck and try to get it on, and maybe show you guys here real quick kind of how we put these things on. So what you got to kind of do here is, I'm just keeping them all the same, like the middle one there we can't get off. This right here stays kind of in the top, this little bite taken out of the spindle here. It's in all of them, so it's, you know, a factory thing, I would assume. And yeah, it's got to go in there like that. And then you find some bolts here. Let me see if I can find some originals that might be of use to start with. A bunch of these extra bolts, I will. All the, like, important, really unique stuff has been kept, though, so yeah, there's that. At least. Oh. See if I can just kind of hang that off of there. Don't fall, don't fall, don't fall. Get it started in the back. Once again, I'll show you guys more in depth what you got to do with this stuff in the future when I, you know, am done with this little experimentation and we're actually tearing it down for the restoration. Just getting it functioning still. I got another one of these. Although they don't match, I miraculously found 4 bolts that are long enough and all have the same size heads. And nuts and lock washers for them. Okay, now we can put this thing on. Alright. Should be interesting. I don't know how I'm gonna do this without... yeah. Pain. It might hit the ground. I don't know. We'd have to maybe set the deck down for that. Anyways, I'm just going to get both of these spindles on, then we'll figure out something to do for this. Okay, so I got a brick underneath the blade adapter, whatever you want to call it, under that spindle in there, the furthest spindle. Now I'm just going to take a rubber mallet to the thing and try to get it on there all the way. First start in the middle and then just kind of tap around the outsides, I guess. Maybe spraying a little WD-40 on it first would be a good idea. Something kind of lubricating a little bit. Alright, well it looks like it's on pretty good. There's it sitting on a brick right now. But like, dead quiet. I'm actually going to leave this thing on, maybe tighten it up a bit if I can, because that's actually really good still. There's another idler, V-idler pulley that needs replaced. That's coming in Amazon later today. And this one here has originals in it still, the best originals. A little bit of noise, but like not like this one. This one keeps scraping these bolts here, so it's not going to be that loud once I get that figured out. If not, I guess I'll try to just take that nut back off and, I don't know, somehow, some way, try to drive that out and replace the bearings in that one. But we tried it once before. It was pretty impossible then, so I don't know. Now with these original bearings working pretty good and new bearings in this, that one there seems a lot worse than it was the other day when I decided, you know what, we're actually going to leave that in there for now. So I'd really like to just replace the bearings in that one. And yeah, just kind of experimenting with original bearings versus both original bearings versus both brand new ones, see what holds up longer. You know, we'll see. Hopefully this is long enough. I got the roughest one I'm putting on here just for the heck of it right now. It was off of that one. I'd like to get the pin through there again, but we're going to be taking it apart shortly after, and the threads are kind of messed up enough where it's really, really tight. So I'm probably just going to leave it like that for now anyways. We're maybe going to just mow, not like the whole 4 acres with it, but like mow the front yard a couple of times, see how these hold up. And then when this one inevitably starts giving us serious problems, we just take it in and just really try to just bang it out of there. But I'm thinking some high speed and stuff might really like get some things loosened up in there too. So that's another one of the reasons I'm doing this. So, you know, we're going to try to see if it even works at all like this. But yeah, now we're ready for the other pulley over here, which means I got to move the brick over to this one. Just a piece of sandstone too, so it might be kind of cracked by now. Just trying to lay it out there. That's all right. Just kind of eyeball it. There we go. Yeah, I need the flywheel, which I cleaned these. I went ahead and power washed them and then dried them off. Here's the other keyway. Yeah, I took these down to the basement where we got a power washer and like a work sink. Power washed them, and oh, that looks like maybe some Amazon delivery guy. And then here we are now. There's our idler pulley, V idler pulley for the other part of this deck here. Sweet. Arrived right on camera. Get it down there a bit more. We'll just make sure it's kind of tight. Yeah, we're good. Pull in there for one of these. Dang. Alright, I'm gonna do this off camera for a bit. It's on. So the majority of the sound that comes from this one is really from it scraping the top of these bolts, because if I lift it up and turn it, much better. And that click, 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 don't worry, I got the blade on this one loosely to just using that to set something on there to stop it from turning. Yesterday I was doing that. But we're gonna lift this up and get the brick out from underneath, I think. Really wish I could have taken this middle spindle apart. Yeah, like, much better sounding. But it scrapes these crappy bolts that, you know. I'm not sure what we're gonna do for that. I really don't know. Try to just pound this, flip it over and pound this through a bit more, because maybe it's just, you know, it's worked down in there a bit. So we're gonna try to do that, and it's gonna have to come off eventually. It's so inevitable. I can't stress it enough. But it's just so hard to do that right now. Is it hitting the ground? No, not quite. So we're gonna take a rubber mallet to this thing and see if we can get it through a little bit more. It's tighter. That could be better, but like, that's good enough. It's touching the ground. I'm gonna go charge my phone a little bit because it's on 5%, but everything is on and hooked up where it's pretty much supposed to go, except I'm missing a rod, I believe, that goes up. Let me show you guys right here. There's supposed to be a rod that goes through that, but I found a couple bolts that kind of work. They're a little small, but for now, you know, it's all right. Everything's hooked up where it's supposed to go. I think it'll be good for our experimentation. Don't think this thing's gonna sound too good. I think we're gonna hear some definite rough spindles, rough bearings here. But we'll find out here in about 10-15 minutes when I charge my phone up for a little bit, take a little break, because this took me about 2 hours to get everything set up just right. But we're gonna be taking this thing out in the dark. But, you know, I don't know. I'm not gonna wait till after work tomorrow for this. We're gonna take it out, we're gonna fire it up real quick for maybe like 30 seconds, see how it sounds, shut it off, and then park it for the night. So yeah, we'll pick this up in a little bit. All right, guys, so it's cold, late at night. There's people around here trying to sleep, and I'm ready to fire this thing up. So I'm just gonna do it real quick, and I'm gonna engage the blades on kind of a low idle, you know, just in case, like, say one of the bearings was to totally lock up or something, we don't shear a flywheel key. So I'm just going to start the blades on the engine kind of like on idle, maybe a little above idle at first, and then just kind of rev it up, hear how it sounds, and hopefully it sounds pretty good, and we can, you know, I mean, I'm still going to replace the bearings eventually, but, you know, hopefully we can maybe cut some grass with this thing for a little bit for the next couple of days, and then if we can keep the carburetor running at a good, steady, non-surging level, we can start the full takedown and restoration on this thing. Well, I've heard worse. Because if you guys remember, it wasn't on camera or anything. It should have been, but my black MTD over there, I once tried to run that on one original spindle with original bearings once, and it sounded probably twice as bad as this thing. So, and I looked down, they're spinning good. I mean, you can't see it in the dark. It's kind of hard for me to see, and I didn't want to drive over here because of the hose, but it was cutting grass. And yes, we did sharpen the blades as well. It was actually cutting grass, and you know, it didn't have much to cut, but heck, get this thing out in the light tomorrow, and we'll do a little bit more footage. Don't know if those belts are going to hold up or anything, but yeah, it sounds pretty rough, but I've heard worse. You know, and if this is what it takes to maybe wear out those bearings in that middle spindle, you know, honestly, we're going to try to maybe wear them out a little bit so they maybe come apart easy. So it comes apart easier in that middle spindle, then heck yeah, and we'll just eventually put all new bearings in it. This thing's going to make a good mower, I think, though, so heck yeah, that experiment was a success. And maybe we'll put a little more footage of this thing mowing in the daylight. Some kind of tall grass. Combination of old belts and worn out springs and stuff. It's not going to spin, you know, bad bearings that are pretty rough. It's not going to spin too fast. It's cutting. Better. Much, much better.